morning, dear colleagues. I'm Маканова А, a teacher of English in Nazarbayev Intellectual School, and today we will continue to discuss the term feedback, strategies in a variety of dimensions. Feedback can be delivered in many modalities. Some kinds of tasks lend themselves better to written feedback. For example, reviewing and writing comments on students' written work. Some to oral feedback, for example, observing and commenting as students write a paragraph. Some of the best feedback can result from conversations with the students. For example, rather than telling the students all the things you notice about his or her work, you might start by asking the questions. What are you noticing about this? Is there anything you were surprised with? Decisions about whether to give the feedback orally or in written form should be partly based on the students' reading ability, especially for younger students. Could they understand what you would write? Talking to students is usually best because you can have a conversation. And I looked through your writing, yes, and I have some questions. What should you include in your writing when describing a person?
Maybe her appearance, how she looks like.
Can you give example?
Tall got is tall, for example.
Okay, what else can you say about the appearance?
She's handsome and clever.
Clever. Do you think that clever is the word that describes his appearance?
No.
What does it describe? What do you think?
His quality.
Okay, his personal qualities. Yes. Okay, nice. Does he have any other features to describe about his appearance?
Can I say that he have brown hair?
Okay, brown hair. What do you think? Would it help a reader to imagine his appearance if you write about the color and the length of his hair?
Yes, of course.
Okay, now look through your writing again and say, do you have such information?
No, I forget.
You forget. Okay, so you have forgotten to include the description of his appearance. Okay, so this is another step, yes, to improve your writing. What can you do to improve your writing?
Describe his appearance.
You're quite right. Just organize one more paragraph, yes, where you will describe his appearance. This video is a good choice of mode when the teacher is taking advantage of a teachable moment. Why is it good? Because it provides additional feedback about the process of getting details into the work, and this kind of feedback initiates a helpful brief conversation with the students, a teachable moment. Also, the teacher can observe whether a student understands the comments or not and can clarify promptly. When presenting feedback in written form, a teacher will be limited in comments, as such mode involves more words than the student wrote. Realistically, you can't write that much, and even if you did, it would have the effect visually of overwhelming the student work. Therefore, providing the feedback orally is a good decision. Bad choice of mode. Writing things the student can't comprehend. If you decided to use feedback in written form, the language you use should be appropriate for the level of a child. Do not demonstrate children your knowledge of the language using high-level vocabulary, for example. Audience is another aspect a teacher should always remember when giving feedback. Watch the video and say, what is wrong in presenting feedback? I have checked your works and I see that you experience difficulties with usage of articles. Let's see the situation when we use articles. There are definite and indefinite articles. Why do the majority of the students do not pay attention to what is happening around? To what extent this oral feedback is useful and helpful? The main mistake in this presentation is that the teacher is trying to reteach the whole class, while only 2 of the students in the class experienced difficulties of using articles in their works. The feedback shown in the video made most of the class be bored as they do not have the problems with articles. Individual feedback would be the way to go. In traditionally organized classrooms, the teacher could provide that feedback in student conferences or during seat work. Written feedback and examples on the students' homework papers, followed by further opportunities to practice in class with the teacher or with peer tutors, could also be helpful. In classrooms where flexible grouping or other differentiated instruction methods are used routinely, feedback could be given in the contents of the small group work. Like all communication, feedback works best when it has a strong and appropriate sense of the audience. Feedback about the specifics of individual work is best addressed to the individual student in terms the students can understand. That simple act is powerful in itself because, in addition to the information provided, it communicates to the student a sense that you care about his or her individual progress. If the same message would benefit a group of students, providing feedback to the class or group can save time and also serve as a mini lesson or review session. For example, you had just collected a writing assignment in which you found many students had used adjectives describing a person without justification. You might choose to give the whole class some feedback about supporting ideas with justification, with examples of how to use arguments and examples. I would like you to look at the board. Can you tell me what do you see here on the board? I salute.
In the first box there are adjectives, and in the second there are justifications for these adjectives.
Okay. When do we use all these adjectives?
When we prove what adjectives when we describe personal qualities.
Okay, and what about justification? Why do we need to use justification when describing people? Mirai?
When we prove these adjectives about personal qualities.
Okay, thank you so much. From the first one,
Talkative is never stop chatting.
An adjective who is very active.
Intelligence does well at school.
But he always tells people what to do.
Rude isn't polite to other people.
Impatient is who hates waiting for anything. Popular wears smart clothes.
Cheerful always smiles.
Lazy doesn't like working.
Well dressed wears smart clothes. Selfish is cares only about himself, herself.
Bossy is always tells people what to do.
I have organized this activity just again to revise the information about the supporting ideas. When you are presenting some qualities about a person, you should always prove that this man, this woman has this quality. And with the help of justification, we will organize very strong sentences. Now, I would like you to look through your writings again. I returned at the beginning of your lesson. What I have noticed that when describing people, you just presenting what? Their qualities, without any justification. And it is the common area we should work very hard on. Before you will analyze your writing, I would like you to look at the next sentence. Please. What do you think about sentence?
It is
What?
It is a sentence which describes person.
Okay, great. Would we believe a person who is describing his sister as a generous one? Would we believe? when he says my sister is generous person?
When we prove
Okay.
Only when he or she prove it, we can believe it.
Okay. How would we prove it?
With justification.
What would you add here? For example, what would you add here?
My sister is generous person because she always buys a present for all family.
Okay, great. But we know also the connecting, linking word. What word we can use here?
Who?
Okay. And now look here. My sister is a generous person who always buys her family gifts. Would we believe now that she is a generous person? Yes. Now I want you to look through the writing you presented last lesson and analyze. Find the places where you just stated, presented the quality of a person. And look through. Identify whether you justified it or not. Okay? And find 2-3 sentences and make justifications. Okay, have you found the adjectives that describe your people you admire? Have you?
Yes.
Okay, nice. The task is, now you should create the sentences with justification, okay? Don't leave the sentences without any justification. Add, justify, prove. If you tell she is a kind-hearted person, explain why. Okay, let's practice. After checking students' work, the teacher found out that the students in the group didn't manage to justify their statements in the writing task. Here, the whole group feedback is appropriate and useful. If you speak to the whole class when only a few students need the feedback, you can use the students who are aware of the topics as the more skilled peers, helping you determine their knowledge or skill. Or you can pull a group aside to give some feedback, while others are doing something else. Okay, Ayjan, can you tell me, when we use present simple tense, what word we should use? Here is, for example, she
Has.
Why? Can you explain?
Because she is the third.
Okay, so because it is present simple. Yes. Can you give any examples?
He has, she has, and it has.
Okay.
We always.
Okay, give just example. Okay, give example. For example,
He has mistakes in his word.
Okay. What about you? Would you present the example?
She has good work on her homework.
Okay, so, and you see, be careful, yes? Just watch, looking through your writing tasks, I noticed that it is difficult for you to use this tense, yes? Especially when you are using the third form. In present simple. Be careful. And your task is now create. So, from the presentation, it is obvious that mode and choice of audience are also a vital part of presenting feedback that should be kept in the mind when organizing feedback. Remember, we talked about the structure of a description of a person, yes? Of a person you admire, yes? Do you remember there are important parts? What are they?
Introduction.
Okay, nice. The first one is introduction. So, introduction. So, what should we write there? In introduction, what should we write?
write the name, write who is she. For example, let me introduce, I go, she is my mother.
Let me introduce. Yes, okay, great.
We also should write your age and your work.
Okay, nice. So look through your writings. How many of you have started your writing with introduction, describing age? Who is she? Great, great, very nice. Okay. What other parts should we include in our description?
Describe his appearance, for example, the color of your hair or your head.
Okay, so do you agree with her?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We should write her qualities.
Okay, we are going to write about qualities. Do we include the information about qualities in the same paragraph? In the paragraph of appearance?
No, we write in another paragraph.
In another paragraph. Okay, so is it the conclusion?
Yes. No, we write about our feelings
Where we write about our feelings?
in the last paragraph.
Yes, we call it conclusion. Yes, we call it conclusion. We write there about our feelings, about our attitude toward this person. Great. So there are the main parts: introduction, main body, where we start with appearance, then her personal qualities. Help me, please. And the last one is conclusion. So please tell me what kind of information we are going to include in our conclusion.
Our feelings.
Feelings and
Attitude.
great attitude towards this person. Now please again analyze your writing passage and identify where you have organized these parts in your writing passage. Okay, so I have checked your writings here, and I have some questions. When writing about a person, what should you include?
Appearance?
Would you start your writing with description of a person's appearance?
Yes.
Do you agree with him?
I think that we should describe who is she.
Okay, what do you mean by who is she?
My sister or my friend.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Maybe where she works.
Nice. Why do you think you should start your writing with this information?
To introduce a person.
Okay.
It is a rule how to write about a person. I think it is introduction.
Okay, nice. I agree with you. You should introduce the person you are going to speak about, yes? And now please look through your writing. Have you started your work? How have you started your work? Is there the introduction?
Yes.
Yes.
So read the information again and make changes in your writings. To summarize the information, I would inspire you to remember feedback is very powerful, but only when it's done well. You should always keep in your mind timing, audience, mode, and amount. The material for the seminar was taken from Brookhart, How to Give Effective Feedback to Your Students.